If you're smart and you've worked hard, but somehow you're still not where you want to be by now, this video is going to explain something that might hurt a little. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because being smart is often the exact reason people choose businesses that don't work. And once you see this, you won't be able to unsee it. Now, I've always known I was smart, but not in an arrogant way, but in a quiet, internal way. I could learn fast, I could see patterns, I could figure things out. And because of that, I believed success would come naturally. But it didn't. So for almost 20 years, I kept asking the same question. Why does this feel so much harder than it should? And here's the first mistake I made. I believe that better ideas win. That the more creative an idea was, the more complex it was, the more impressive it sounded, the more likely it was to succeed. But that belief didn't come from reality. It came from the world I grew up in. I was in college and just out of school during the tech and internet boom. Everywhere I looked, startups were raising millions of dollars. Not hundreds of thousands, millions. But here's the part that rewired my brain in the wrong direction. Most of them weren't making money, and nobody cared. So I started to believe that profit didn't matter. Well, at least not at first. It was about users and growth and early adoption. They were asking, how fast are you growing? How many people signed up? Companies could lose money for years and just raise another round. And at that time, losses were normal and burning cash was expected from those innovative tech startups. So I absorbed that thinking, and without realizing it, I started believing that profit was optional. And I know that sounds crazy, but I really believed that you weren't supposed to make money right away. That making money right away meant that you were thinking too small. That cash businesses were boring. And boring meant you weren't ambitious. So when I looked at different business ideas, I didn't ask the most important question. I didn't ask, will this make money quickly? I asked things like, is this interesting? Is this innovative? Does this feel big? So I chose businesses that were hard on purpose, not because I wanted pain, but because hard felt meaningful. Hard felt like it matched my intelligence. Hard felt like it was proof that I was capable of something big. But difficulty doesn't equal value, and I learned that the hard way. Every business I chose had the same problem. Too many things had to go right. They needed perfect timing, the right market, the right product, the right messaging, the right funding. But if even one of those things went wrong, everything collapsed. So progress was always fragile. This is the trap that smart people fall into. We don't think in odds, we think in ideas. We don't ask, how likely is this to work? But instead we ask, how cool would this be if it worked? So we end up choosing businesses that almost never work without realizing it. And here's the truth most smart people hate hearing. Business is not a talent contest. It's not about being clever. It's about choosing a game that works even when you're not perfect. But smart people are drawn to fragile businesses because fragile feels exciting. So we avoid the simple ones. For years, simple service businesses never crossed my mind, not even once. They felt boring, they felt small, they felt like something you did if you didn't have any better options. But that belief wasn't intelligence, it was ego. So I ignored the businesses that actually paid. While I was chasing impressive ideas, boring businesses were quietly working. Not going viral, not raising money. Just solving real problems for real people who were happy to pay every single day. But I couldn't see it yet, so I stayed stuck. Here's the difference I didn't understand at the time. Most businesses are fragile. They only work if everything goes right. And other businesses are sturdy. They work even when things go wrong. But smart people often choose fragile businesses because they feel more interesting. So they struggle longer. This is why smart people resist boring businesses. Because boring feels like settling. It feels like wasting potential. It feels like saying, this is all I can do. But choosing simple isn't giving up. Therefore, it's choosing leverage. And once you have steady cash coming in, everything changes. You get time, you get space, you get options. But if you start with complexity, you get stuck. So you never reach the part where you could actually build bigger things. And for most of my life, I tried doing this backward. I tried building something impressive first. But impressive doesn't pay the bills, so nothing stuck. And the moment I changed what I aimed my intelligence at, everything shifted. I stopped chasing clever, but instead I chased useful. So businesses finally started working. And this is the real lesson of this video. If you're smart and stuck, you don't need to change who you are, but you do need to change what you value. So stop choosing ideas that make you feel smart and start choosing ones that actually pay. And once you see a business this way, the next question becomes obvious. What does a high probability business actually look like? And how do regular people use it to build real income without investors or complicated ideas? So that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. Watch this next.